What do I want? It's a question that everyone eventually has to ask themselves. The key motivator for every action taken. The cause behind every effect. So, what do I want? I want to go to a sporting event in every major venue. I want to grow within my relationships with my friends and my family. I want the freedom to create without the fear of failure. I want to dream without being hindered by reality. I want to chase new passions, new experiences, and new goals. I want OldMilk to branch out of the box and try new things. I'm accomplishing some of these goals right now, and I know what I need to do to achieve the rest of them. However, the one thing you should take away from this commercial is, I want you to buy OldMilk merch. Yo, welcome back to the It's All Opinion podcast. This is episode 8 of the only podcast that gives you straight facts. And if it's not facts, it's just an opinion. I am your host, Nate Spurlin. Thank you for listening on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and other DSPs that I won't name because it's mad of them. Do us a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. You don't have to do it now, but at some point, I feel like you're going to want to because I have one of my favorite photographers on today. So maybe at some point you'll be like, yo, I like Solomon Francis. I want to subscribe to OldMilk because of Solomon Francis, and I will say thank you to both of you. So thank you for that. Check out the OldMilk Spins playlist on Spotify and YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok at OldMilk Media. Check out the OldMilk merch on OldMilk.co and all the OldMilk content on OldMilk.co. Shout out to all the 45 subscribers that I have on YouTube right now. OldMilk, thanks you for your support. And that being said, I am here with one of my oldest friends, my hype beast phenomenon,
I don't like
Solomon,
that description.
Solomon Francis.
Take an issue with that description right there. I'm not feeling those claps.
Thank you
What's
for
good,
being on the show. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Chilling. All right. Sounds good. So as I mentioned before, Solomon Francis has been doing his thing with his photography, and just watching the growth from where he started to where he is now is really, it's inspiring, but it's also, it just like hits the right chord just watching one of your friends evolve as they do. So that being said, Solomon, I do want to first off talk about, what was your introduction to photography? What was the first moment that you realized that this was something that you enjoyed and you wanted to get better at?
I like taking pictures of your friends after high school, just for some Facebook likes. Shit, you start to realize, at least I started to realize, I didn't want my pictures to look a certain way, and I realized the only way to step it up was the actual camera, and I would be in the city and see people with actual cameras and shit, and okay, work my way up to that point. So it was kind of like that progression of just wanting to have a better picture for myself and to take other people's pictures that were better.
Mm-hmm. So going from that, because obviously when you're first starting something off, people don't jump into things right away until they start getting a feel for it for real. What was the moment that you were like, okay, I'm good at this, I'm going to do this for real?
Oh damn! I feel really bad. I never. It was never it was never a specific moment. It was just I'm gonna keep doing it. It was just okay, I'll take a picture here, and I'm gonna do another one. Somebody likes it, so that keeps you going. Just people liking the picture. I'd be like, it's trash, and then it was just more okay, then it became outside of your friend group, your strangers are appreciating it, and I think so. I started 2016, 2017. I got my first Canon, a stock lens and shit. And I I was just like, I had to continue. Like a friend bought my Nikon, so that made me feel like she supported me to move on to the next level. And then it was just like I'm running into people and people are liking the photos and I was liking the photos. So and I also kept seeing, oh no, it could still be better, it could still be better. So I just kept working.
So do you think, well, I think that every artist has things that they don't like that end up being massively successful. Do you have photos that you look back on and they were like things that people really enjoyed, but you kind of nitpick it a little, like this could have been better, the lighting could have been better, the angling could have been better? How do you deal with that?
Like I believe personally, like once I let it go, once I send a picture off to somebody, it's no longer mine. So it does what it does, and I just let it go. Like obviously, I would like sometimes I would send somebody something, and then maybe they download and the quality is shit, and then I'm like, oh, like I don't like this being a representation of my work. But other than that, I'm never gonna tell them like, yo, delete that. Like, I'll try to suggest them, hey, you know, could have done this better. But I want my art to be because, like, for example, when this goes away and somebody looks back and be like, oh, this is how I feel about this person's art. You have no say in that. Like, no point stressing over it.
So it's a form of detachment that comes once you press that send button. That
Yeah,
what I'm hearing.
like one, yeah, because like that's why nowadays sometimes I do edit my pictures like slightly before I send them because I would rather because I'm starting to also appreciate consistency and like themes throughout anything you do. So I want my work to look a certain way now. Like I want it to be like, oh, they know when Solomon took this. You know what I mean? So like now I look at it a bit differently. Like I'll hold somebody's picture like, man, you don't get this yet.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
being a photographer, like you know all the ins and outs of the day to day of being a photographer and scheduling and making sure that everything comes to fruition. What's a underrated aspect of that that may go over some of most people's heads? Like something that people don't think about that is important to you, but it's not something that people would really see.
Being on time. I don't know. I guess that's the nobody's on time. Like I mean, not nobody. Like you. That's why I appreciate the people who are on time. Like you know, at least communicate very well because that's like the hardest part, just getting there, getting everybody together, and then the part that you don't see is the equipment. Could be like, say, for example, somebody will ask me something like, "Oh, can you do this?" But nobody looks at like the weight of everything you carry and how far you got to carry it, how the time that it takes to put it together or switch out between things. So that's something I think people should like understand more of that goes behind being a photographer.
So everyone has their own style. If you were to describe your style and the main foundations of how you started to adapt your style or how you started to form, how you started to compose your style would probably be the better word to use. How would you say that? Like, how would you describe that?
Well, like I said, I was on I don't know if it's alright, but I was on Tumblr. So like
Mhm.
I saw how I wanted the pictures to be like come out. I saw certain angles that I liked, or I just like because you're just consuming so much media, just pictures, you're not really looking at what people are saying and shit like that. It's just more about like, okay, I like this, I like this. Oh, that person did this, interesting. And so I guess my style just came from seeing certain clean images, seeing shit like Fashion Week outside of the fashion show photos and how clean and simple, but still almost powerful how they look to me. So that sort of clean editorial style, I guess I kind of just been developing that over the years.
When you're looking, because with your photography, it gives you the opportunity to, it gives you a reason to go to places that you wouldn't, in the city that you wouldn't go to
It's a
on a
fact.
regular day. What do you find yourself when you're just walking through the city and you don't have any plans, um, stumbling upon places where you're like, okay, that would be a good place for a shoot?
Oh yeah,
Like,
all the
does
time.
so in that process, what do you look for as a place for the next Solomon Francis photo shoot?
So like to me, the best places are like kind of closed off or like sheltered in terms of like they have a good shadow because like I don't like super bright overexposed photos. So somewhere where I know the sun is not gonna hit the person's face too hard, and then the colors look good, or it's like a specific color scheme. Like, oh, I know if I get somebody with this color outfit to come to this place, then it's gonna be perfect. Or if I just show them that this is the color of it, they can look in their closet and be like, oh, this is what we could do here. So that's kind of what it is. Like people be asking me like, oh, you just let me know a spot. It's easier for you to tell me like what color you want to wear than for me to recommend you so many spots because I I know a lot of spots on the top of my head. Five are going to be circling around in terms of what I want to shoot. But if you give me a color palette, like that helps me like, okay, maybe we could go to this area. Damn, I haven't been to this area. Let's try that again. So stuff like that.
So does it seems like you determine the location, like the location that you're actually going to carry out a shoot with based on what people wear. Is there
Mhm.
ever a time where there's a location that you really, really want to shoot at, but you have to kind of direct people in the right direction in terms of what colors they should wear or what type of style they should wear so that the shoot can come out the best possible, the best quality possible.
Yeah, I try. Like you try to tell people like, hey, you should wear this color, whatever. Like that. Obviously, like I don't control anybody's closet, so they can only do the best that they can. And sometimes it's like it becomes more of an organic thing. Like you probably thought you wanted to shoot this spot, but you walk around the corner and their outfit matches the scenery way better in another spot. So it's just the ups and downs, and that's kind of the fun of it too.
So could you tell me a story of a time that you just described where there's a location that you want to shoot and literally, well, not literally, but like you realize in the midst of you plotting out your strategy of executing the shoot, you realize that there's a better place that like nearby that would work for the shoot.
Can't tell you a specific story because they happen so often. Like I would literally have to go to my camera roll and like be like, okay, damn, what happened to shoot? Okay, this is how we found this. It's kind of like this happens like every now and then, so I can't really say it's like that easy for me to say. Just I'm trying to think of it. I can't think of a specific story, but like sometimes, okay, let's say for example, I might go to Central Park, right?
Mhm.
And say, I want to shoot by this fountain, I want to shoot by this area. But then we just walk around and I remember, okay, I'll tell you the last one. Last one, I was in Central Park. We were shooting like underneath the tunnel and it wasn't as going as cool as it was nice, but I was like, yeah, it's still not as cool as I thought. And we walk over to an area I haven't been to in, maybe 6 months or whatever. I kind of forgot about. I'm like, oh, this looks kind of nice. And you just get those little glimpses of exciting, like, oh, okay, this could probably work.
So where are I don't want you to give away like the places that you hold close to the vest, but where are the places that most people know about in the city anyway, so it's not like you're giving away any of your secret sauce
Mm.
that you like to shoot the most.
I mean, I can just say the neighborhoods. Like, it's a lot to shoot in each neighborhood. So, like, I
Mhm.
like to shoot in Lower East Side,
Mhm.
um, like that area between, I guess, like around Chinatown area is nice to shoot into sometimes. Outfit, the Village is nice. So like yeah, it's just yeah. So these are neighborhoods. Like obviously, it's a lot to see within that neighborhood, but those are the good places I like to.
Mhm. So you mentioned you mentioned some brand names of some names of cameras, some camera models. Can you talk about the difference between shooting with a more modern day camera versus shooting with a camera that maybe was first introduced 20 years ago versus shooting with it with a phone?
I mean, some cameras, in my opinion, like I don't know about 20 years old, but I would say there's a lot of cameras like mine that are like a decade or maybe 15 years old that like will still take a better picture than an iPhone, at least in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I like saw certain type of ISO pictures and like with the camera, the only difference between your camera and your phone is like how much control you have over the image. So that's really like what it boils down to.
So can you tell me more about that? What do you mean by control of the image?
Okay, yes. All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, y'all need to understand what this guy's doing here. He's being an active listener, you know what I mean? He's trying to do callbacks. I watch podcasts, so I understand how people talk. I see what I could tell he's honing in and focusing on this craft like damn near it's a test and he's figuring it out as he goes. I get it. Like, y'all gotta focus on doing it. But basically control over image means like there's settings on your camera. The most basic settings on every camera is your ISO, which is like the grain on the image, which is like how like sensitive I guess your lens is taking in the light. The aperture is like how much light is coming in, and that affects things like how blurry is your background and stuff like that, and how like how and that blurriness affects how much focus is on something and shutter speed. That like affects how fast the shutter on the camera. When you hear it goes click, that's the shutter. And basically, that can become slow to go. That's like a very slow shutter speed, and that will control light as well and all those good stuff. So those are some of the main differences, at least that I know.
So out of what you listed, which one, which aspect of that is the most important?
All are equally important.
All are
It
equally
just
important.
depends. It just depends on what you're doing. Like sometimes, for me, like I like some people are so technical, like they can look at an area and tell you what settings this needs to be. Like, okay, put it at a 3.8 with an f-stop of this and an aperture of this. For me, it's more like, okay, I look at the picture, I see it's too bright. Let me try adjusting this. If that doesn't work, I try adjusting that. Like to me, like the photography thing doesn't have to be super hard. Like once you understand those basics, you understand what you're controlling when you change a setting, then it makes it easy. Like, okay, I know I want it to look like this, so I'm gonna do this.
It seems like it's a lot of trial and error.
That's what I'm saying. It depends on how like skilled you are and how much not skilled, but maybe just how much practice and experience you have because the more experience you have, the more you're gonna come into the situation knowing what to do. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody has their own preference, so it's no wrong answers.
Mm-hmm. So,
That's what it is.
has there ever been a time, because as I mentioned before, every artist has their distinct style, but if I take it to music, you have, for example, Metro Boomin, who has his signature Atlanta trap style, but then at the same time, he could go work with The Weeknd, or he can do other things outside of what his signature style is. Has there ever been a time where you booked a shoot, but the person respected your style, obviously, like they respect your talent, but they may not have wanted something that would be typical coming from you? And how did you adjust to that?
I'm trying to think the last time that happened. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of stuck in my ways. So if the picture doesn't look right to me, I'm not gonna like it. You know what I mean? And then I'm not gonna be interested in taking it. But yeah, like people give their opinion. They want it to look a certain way. They like say for example, like usually the most thing I hear is because I like a darker, softer image. Some people like it brighter. Like so they'll tell me, hey, can you do it this way? And because like I'll like, especially if they're paying, like I'll give them the benefit of doubt. Okay, let me try it your way. Is this what you like? Or like, no. And I do it my way, and I get back into maybe finding the right lighting or changing the setting, and then they're like, okay, now I see what you're saying. Like, so I give people the benefit of the doubt. I tell people like, okay, maybe I'll be willing to try that, but I try not to go out my comfort zone, because when somebody has another idea for you, especially for image, it's most likely because they saw somebody else do it. So you're not even it's not even their perspective. You're looking at another photographer's perspective that you probably didn't even see their image. You know what I mean?
Mhm. So, do you think most photographers feel like you from the standpoint of if you're booking me, you're booking for my style, or do you think there's a level of versatility that most photographers are open to trying?
Like a photographer, when they have a portfolio, it's either one. I think, in my opinion, it's either one of the two. They're either trying to show how diverse they are, or
Mhm.
they're trying to show like their skill, like literally what they're good at. So, um, I don't know. Photographers be arguing and shit. Like they be some feel like they can do anything, so they don't care. But the people like me who like, no, this is how I shoot. You're not gonna have me shoot like somebody else, and I respect them too, because I feel I agree with them more.
Mhm. So I guess my final question before we start wrapping this up, um, you're one of the most attentive people in terms of fashion that I know. So I'm just curious about, is there anything out there that maybe isn't huge right now that you see becoming huge in terms of fashion in the next few years that people should probably be paying attention to?
I mean, I'm not like at the head. Like I like what I like, so I can't say I'm more in tune into what's popping. But like I see, just like it's more engineering going into fashion. Like it's more like it's all it like what I see is people like it's almost like everything's been done. So now it's like, oh, literally, what's the thought that doesn't sound like it'll work or be like functional, and then let's do that. That's what it sounds like. That's what everybody's doing. It looks like, at least to get the most attention.
I agree. I think that it seems like, at least looking at, like, remember when people used to line up for Jordans, and I'm sure people still are, but in
Mm-hmm.
terms of looking at the new designs and the new colorways, it doesn't have the same pizzazz that some of the older ones did.
Yeah, we're going on like what 40, 50 years of Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
Not 50. I'm tripping. Like
I
the
mean,
80s.
we're getting up there.
80s Jordans came out.
Yeah, like
80s. Yeah,
80s,
so yeah,
80s, yeah.
40. Yeah, so they're been there 50 years of. Yeah, you're gonna see. So you watch. Damn, that's crazy. That means you're about to see a crazy ass Jordan. But yeah, basically, yeah, you've been there seeing 50 years of like what 12 silhouettes. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like it's like, what more can you do at one point? Like, it's just gonna be like we're gonna see more. Obviously, people aren't done. There's gonna be a lot of misses before you get a hit. But I don't really rock Jordan, so I couldn't keep up.
So we've approached our final segment, where you get to speak your piece and plug whatever you want to plug. You essentially get a minute to say whatever you want to say. So the minute is yours.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you bringing me on, man. To call, all of a sudden, beginning my Instagram is at hvn_solo. You see my pictures and tell me if you like them, and I'll say thank you.
I like your pictures.
Thank you. Thank you. He gets two thank yous because he's special.
That's funny. All right. As Solomon just said, you can follow him on Instagram. All the links will be in the description. Thank you for
In
coming
that
on the show.
fucking bio.
And in the bio. Thank you for thank you for coming on the show.
No problem.
All
It was
right.
great seeing you, Nate.
Great seeing you too. We gotta talk and we have to like do something in person at some point. But that's
It's
a
just with
topic
life,
for
bro. It's
off
just
air.
be busy, bro.
Yeah, no, everybody's busy. We're all getting older and we're all becoming adults and stuff like that. So what can you do but
We're gonna
adjust?
try to.
Yeah.
We're getting better at this.
Facts, we will be. So thank you for watching the It's All Opinion podcast. This has been episode 8. I am Nate Spurlin. Do us a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. At some point, Solomon said something about the camera specifics and shutter speed, and you were like, that's a good point. I'm gonna subscribe to the channel and give this a like. So thank you for that. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Old Milk Media. Check out the Old Milk Spins playlist on Spotify and YouTube, and check out all the Old Milk content on oldmilk.co. Once again, I am Nate Spurlin. Thank you for watching, and we are out.